Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back to Celestial Oracle Code. So, I think this is going to be our setup. Hopefully, guys, we got the digital camera. I've done all the purging and all the things that we could possibly have to do with this to make sure that we actually get through a whole reading. So this might be kind of a long reading, and I'll give some confirmations after we get going, because usually I have a spread that I made up or some questions to ask, and I decided to, as this is our first face-to-face in quite some time, let the cards kind of tell me or show us exactly what we're looking at. So, the first cards that come out are going to be our clarifiers about what we are dealing with. Okay. And then we'll let the next row, we'll just kind of let the story guide us as we go. Okay. So this is interesting. Okay. Okay, so I can see. Whoa. Okay, so this is. Whoa. I'm gonna try and keep these in order because they belong. And I don't know, my guidance is telling me no, take that. So there's something here where we're about to see what it's going to be. Okay. So we've got quite the story. So I see that you had to take strategic moves to make King of Swords coming out here, or the Knight of Swords coming out here to say that you took decisive logical action or some kind of communication that was meant to solve problems and to release you from conflict and lies that have been progressing in your life, and ultimately non-truths that you had to expose, right, through maybe some conflict and definitely some strategic thinking, actually maybe thinking outside of the box and doing things in a different way, but swiftly coming in and making sure that not only your side was heard, but heard in a logical and precise way that was strategic and actually communicated your point across, so much so that maybe it could have caused a little conflict or problems, but ultimately it relieved you, right, of untruths that were in your world and or your experience, and that were keeping you in bondage. So you revealed lies and released yourself from conflict with your logical and strategic way of approaching problems and communicating in defense of yourself or others, that led to you releasing or being released from confinements, constraints, any kind of disregard, disrespect, also anything that made you feel shackled, chained, bound, or belittled. And I'm hearing degraded, okay? And also imbalanced in any way. So ultimately, doing all of this, right? Revealing the truth, going through the conflict, and really standing up for yourself. That's what this is. You stood up for yourself. It caused a conflict in your life or in the events in your life, and exposed non-truths and chains, or how you were being bound and constrained, confined, and ultimately how you were being unjustly treated and overly restrained and underestimated is what I'm hearing. So that helped you to restore balance to your internal state and your external state, and return harmonious, not only choices here, but also harmonious choices that serve your body. Harmonious choices that find you a deeper, more passionate job. Maybe for some of you, this is career. For some of you, this is a new lease on your life and just the way that you accept reality and the way that reality works for you. For some of you, this is a newfound balance between your internal state and the way that you progress in the external world. So this came after a time of great betrayal. So this is not only where people that you felt like you could trust or that felt or acted like they were on your side were actually acting in sneaky and conniving ways that ultimately were meant to steal your peace, steal your calm, steal your time, steal your material assets, steal any kind of material gains or property or assets, which is time, patience, and all of your mental assets, emotional assets, and physical assets, whatever that may be. Anybody that took any of that pleasure and peace from you, that's why what sparked all of this, right? The conflict, the confrontation, the exposing of the lies, the confinement, the constraints, the shackles, the chains, and anything that was binding you or keeping you down, I'm hearing, and keeping you in an unbalanced state. So you return to the balanced state after you exposed those who were trying to take your money, your physical, right, material wealth, your mental clarity and your understanding, your logic, your truth, your deep communication, and trusting in the way that you think and communicate. So that's also here. With the 7 of Wands in reverse coming out next to the 7 of Swords, I see that not only did this betrayal or this theft of your time, your whatever it was, right, the theft of your energy, one way or another, led to you finally standing up for yourself. For some of you, this is you finally standing up for yourself, and for some of you, this is you really need to stand up for yourself. So we're going to read this in the other way for the, well, maybe this is for someone who needs to hear the side where you haven't done all this. But for now, this is for mostly for, the ones who feel like they've gone through this, and this, the whole situation may be confirmation for you, okay? So you did have someone steal your, or, commit theft on any of your energy. So your mental, physical, emotional, any of the material possessions, time, any of your peace of mind is what I'm hearing. Ultimately, you have to fend off from all directions. It's looking at everyone coming in at you, right? People who are trying to be sneaky behind your back, and then people who are not even afraid to bring it to your face, right? And then others who are actually causing strife, spreading gossip, spreading rumors, spreading lies, and spreading deceitful information about you, because this is narcissistic tendencies and this is deceitful tendencies. So this is the kind of energy where someone has something up their sleeve all the time and they are acting like they're a better person than they are. And so they try to move in the shadows, and they almost have a sluggish and murky energy about them, but it's because of that hidden factor. Like, see him? He's moving in that same type of energy where he's like, like, I don't know. That's how I see him. Like, he's like creeping away with the swords, and he's got so many he can't even pick up the last two. So anyway, all of this conflict, all of this chaos, right, that you... For most of you, you've released it. For some of you, you're being called to take a leap of faith and to release all of this, right? So for most of you, this has been released. The fight has already happened. You've gone through all of the conflict, the conflicted events. You've seen past all of the treachery, and this is also mental mastery for some of you. So you mastered your thoughts, and you got over not seeing the truth or having the truth hidden from you, and ultimately it led to you freeing yourself from all the constraints, finding a new balanced internal and external state, saying goodbye to all the haters and all the deceivers and all the liars and all the cheaters and all the thieves, and fighting and fending for yourself, but releasing the fight as well. So, right, this is not I'm taking it all home with me. This is I'll deal with you now, and then I'm not dealing with you ever again energy. So this is also a leap of faith that you took, right? Something that you did for yourself, where you actually smelled the roses, where you actually took a chance on yourself Maybe you took a chance on the divine. You took a chance on your life and your happiness and how things could be different. And it puts you in this Queen of Wands energy. This confident, charming, attractive, magnetically alluring, and I'm hearing charismatic, okay? Willpower, willful energy, where you have heightened manifesting abilities right now, and you are being called to take a leap of faith with the Fool coming out on one side and the Emperor in reverse coming out on the other side. Well, that means take a leap of faith through willpower and charismatic confidence towards your desires, your purpose, and ultimately to free yourself from any lack of sovereignty or any feelings of a lack of direction, organization, or the self-authorship, the self-sovereignty, the self-agency, and the true self-authority that you have in your life. So this is also for some of you, this can actually be a narcissistic boss, but it doesn't have to be, so take it where it resonates and leave the rest. But it's a collective reading, so I'm trying to throw out as much as I got coming through for this, but for the most part, this is exactly how I read it. And so the Emperor in reverse next to the Queen of Wands lets us know that you're returning to this internal state, this charismatic state, but you're still not fully taking the actions that it's going to take to equal this leap of faith. So you might not be sure of yourself right now, or you're second guessing your plan, or maybe you're still coming up with the plan, or this is letting you know you need to make a plan, or you recently made a plan that is actually bringing in, or it looks like it's causing some kind of emotional conflict in the way that you're doing things. So it's making you second guess yourself, actually. You're not trusting in the logical way that you put together whatever it is that you want to do. Or you're not trusting in the way that you communicate, or you've already communicated something that is leading to a new level of mastery in your material world. So this is not only financial momentum, where you start to see the things that you've put work and time into start to take form and really structure themselves in your reality. This is also a karmic reward, where past work that you've done or something that you've done in the past has now turned out to be something that's about to become abundant and fruitful that you can actually experience tangibly in your material world. So all of this came to you after, obviously, Five of Cups in reverse. You got over some kind of emotionally conflicted situation, or you found solace in your own emotionality, and ultimately what you did is you did the work, okay? You did the work, and when you did the work, you went through and you tried consciously, okay? So this is conscious effort to stop focusing on things that hurt you, on anything that caused you emotional pain. And all of the things that you felt were causing you to focus on distractions or other things in your life that were causing rifts in your life, that were alienating you from your community with them in the back there, and that were causing you to turn away from your emotional flow and emotional fluidity is what I'm hearing. And so ultimately you stopped focusing on the negative and you consciously started focusing on the blessings, right? Whatever was not facing the way of the negative. So this is you intentionally either turning away or walking away from something that always made you feel like it was spilled cups for you. And ultimately that led to you taking a leap of faith in this way, where you not only, maybe you went through a point where your thoughts were less than harmonious, or making you feel like you didn't belong, or making you feel like life was just hard in general, for you trying to get a leg up, and for you trying to help people, or just for you being you, right? Maybe this was an environment that didn't support or truly want a harmonious and abundant, and I'm hearing loving or or nurturing, supportive environment for you that led to mental duress or stress or any kind of theft of your calm, just like I said with the 7, but also something that ultimately took away from the harmonious way that you thought about your life and maybe even the lives of others, but definitely the situation you were in, and it made you truly start looking for something new in your life, which led to this new blessing that is either just now coming in your life or it is already here. So we're going to get some clarifier cards. I'm not just going to leave it here. But ultimately, this Ace of Pentacles represents all of the manifestation of this in your life. So the Ace of Pentacles comes out to confirm that this is indeed, right, you kind of having to save yourself, stick up for yourself, stand up to whoever was causing conflict in the events around you, lying about things, not being truthful, not being honest, not being authentic, acting like they were high and mighty, acting like they could just do whatever they wanted to in spite of you. Ultimately freeing yourself from constraints and confinements and finding a new balance in internal and external state that ultimately not only revealed, right, deceivers and people who were stealing your theft, your time, your calm, your peace of mind, and ultimately led you to taking a new stance in life where you had to, defend yourself, had to stand up for yourself, had to fight off the haters, the betrayers, the backstabbers, the liars, the narcissists, the whatever this is for you. It led to you taking a leap of faith, which puts you in the Queen of Wands energy, which is high manifesting, a very attractive magnetic energy. So things are coming in fast, some things are shifting. But with the Queen of Wands, that shows me your internal state. And here we see with the Emperor coming up next to it that your external expression is maybe a bit of indecision, stagnation, or at least not making the moves that you know you should make or that you want to make. And so it's leading to, some mental duress or stress that others are starting to notice with that King of Swords coming out next to it. But ultimately, all of that, even the work that you've done, is leading into this karmic cycle where you are no longer focusing on the cups that have built in your life, and you can openly see the abundance that's there, and you can also openly go wherever you want to, and you know that you're a free agent, right, with those devil energies reversed, letting us know that not only did you free yourself from the bondage and the constraints, the confinements, and any of the chains and shackles that they had confining you, but ultimately it's leading to a new blessing unfolding in your life. You guys, this is beautiful. And so because this new blessing, which could have come from all of this, which equaled the lesson, is coming into your life, well, it seems you've already made a plan or you need to make a plan. So you either already have a blessing coming into your life that you're not acknowledging, right, from this new journey that you took, or the trip to the new horizon, the new frontier, I'm hearing, of your life, and ultimately stop looking at spilled cups. And basically, with that Knight of Pentacles energy, there was a practicality in the way that you move, or there needs to be a practical vision that you create, a practical plan that you create to really get this Ace of Pentacles energy rolling. And we're going to see what everything is. I'm going to use the Lion Strider Tarot, and then I'm going to use some Chakra Insight cards, and then we'll get some Sovereign Stability cards so that we can really get a full read here. But ultimately, either you made a plan or you need to make a plan in the near future that will help to propel whatever this idea, this new blessing, or this new growth that ultimately is leading to the seed of, right, financial restitution, I'm hearing, and also I'm hearing financial reset and financial beginning. So this is a new era for your finances. This is a new beginning for the way that you approach finances, for the way that you approach investing, and for the way that you are being blessed by the universe and how abundance flows to you. So this is a new reality when it comes to your financial wealth and the way that wealth flows into your life. So all of this, with that advice, you're being called, okay, Ace of Pentacles coming out shows us that there's a blessing on the way, and it's already on the way due to any actions that you took. So if you recently turned away from any negative energies or started really focusing on the positive, right? And you started releasing things that no longer serve you or stole your peace or made you feel like you needed new horizons or new shores that you needed to sail to through the emotional uplift, the upheaval, the lies, the gossip, the theft of your peace, the theft of your time, the theft of your peace of mind, the theft and all of the confinements, the constraints, the lies, and the inauthenticity, and them trying to keep you in this extra imbalanced state, and you having to really stand up for yourself at the last minute here, right before you took a leap of faith and entered into this Queen of Wands energy, this super hyper charismatic, willful, powerful, manifesting energy, right? This is like the Queen of Wands is like the magic queen, right? She's like the one who really is manifesting, sunflowers right out of her bare hands and growing things right out of her staff. Can you see that? Like she's manifesting it. Let me see. Right out of her hand. See that? And then she's growing things right out of her staff up here. Like they're just growing up there. So that's from nothing, right? That's not planted in anything. And so that's that kind of energy so that's heightened manifesting abilities that the Emperor coming up next to it shows me that you are not stepping into that level of authority in the expressed external world. And so that's what you're being called to do. Take a leap of faith. Make sure that you stand in your power, your charismatic energy, right? So this is the vibration that the Queen represents of that charisma, of that confidence, of that willpower, of that excess true charm and manifesting abilities that is so deeply devoted to accomplishing goals, inspired action towards desires, and ultimately manifesting the true nature and purpose, which is to create the life they love. So ultimately, this right here is the Temperance card. Temperance coming out next to the Knight of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles shows that either a new blessing has come or a new opportunity that is going to lead to a financial reset or new material gain in your world that you either had to make a stable, foundational, practical plan to accomplish, or it's going to need a stable, practical, foundational plan to be successful, but it will be successful as long as you temperance. So this is a different kind of balance than the kind of balance that comes with justice or the kind of balance that comes with the Lovers or something like that. This is the kind of balance that comes from consolidation. So this isn't, I need to be balanced in my choices and I need to make beneficial choices, right? No, this is, I don't have to choose. This is, I can take all that I am, take all that I have, take all of the skills, take all of the things, and consolidate them and mold them into some new thing that is even more abundant, Ace of Pentacles, and that I actually put the time and practicality into, Knight of Pentacles in reverse, to consolidate everything, alchemize everything, and truly step into that next level where I have fully embodied all of my innate traits, capabilities, and the true essence of my talents, skills, and what I want to offer this world. So we've got these out here, right? So let's get some clarifier cards. So show me what my Knight of Swords is. Which I'm pretty sure we already said. So I just want to see. Woo! Alright, so what is, whoa, there it is. So Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords came out with 10 of Cups. So ultimately, because you did this, because you showed up for yourself, because you stood up for yourself in that Knight of Swords energy, it is literally leading you to your 10 of Cups outcome. So that's what that is. You finally had to stand up for yourself. You finally had to tell the universe, you know what? This isn't okay for me. This isn't gonna work for me. This is too much conflict for me, right? And so when you did that, that automatically puts you in a receiving mode, right? Because Two of Swords comes out to clarify that 5 of Wands which lets us know that not only did this Five of Wands energy, it was a conflicted energy that you went through for a long time, almost 2 years, with that Two of Swords coming out. So, because it went so long, and you had to go through so much, you couldn't really choose, right? You didn't trust yourself. You didn't trust yourself to make the right choices. You didn't trust yourself to go the right way. And this is a hard situation to go through when you don't have the faith in yourself and the self-trust to do the best thing for yourself in that time. And so we stay in this conflicted situation because we feel like these events are something that we've inherited or some kind of karma that we deserve, and we don't. You don't. You can always opt out, and the universe is generally putting you in these situations because maybe you agreed to something in the past that symbiotically or symbolically look like you were accepting, right, circumstances or vibrational frequencies and experiences that were beneath your caliber and the overall vibration that the universe wanted to give to you. But it was like, I don't know, you accepted this before, so maybe we'll throw that out there to see if that's what you want, because that's how the universe works, right? It lets your behavior lead the way. And so at the end of the day, if you stayed in this after they were giving you that and you felt conflicted events, and then it made it hard for you to make choices for yourself, because we already know what came up next was the Ace of Swords, which means they weren't telling the truth, right? Somebody wasn't telling the truth, and ultimately they were trying to affect you with that. That was not on purpose. I thought I flipped one up. Oh, I did. Okay. So they weren't telling the truth, and the Page of Pentacles comes out to let us know exactly how they did it. So not only did they lie about you while you were still learning how to maybe to do a job, or you were still learning how to move through your world in the new way that you wanted to. You were definitely learning new skills. You were learning that you have more skills than you're giving yourself credit for. You were understanding that not only and building into skills, right? So not only were they lying about you, causing conflict in your life and causing strife that made you have to eventually stand up for yourself and enter this Ten of Cups frequency, which is also an emotional reset that happened for you. So you defended yourself, you went through an emotional reset, you aligned with the Ten of Cups energy, you finally started being decisive and seeing through the blindfold because they had you conflicted with all of these deceitful lies and treachery and just all the impact. We'll get through it. But at the end of the day, the Ace of Swords, the lies came out, and they didn't realize that you were building into skills that would help them see right through it. They didn't realize that you were building into skills that would not only help you see through their lies and all of their falsehoods and all of their fallacies and all of their devil energy, but also you were helping others, right? So you were becoming even more clear on how to spot lies, how to spot deceit, how to spot inauthenticity, how to spot vibration and alignment that isn't a match, how to spot deceitful or irregular and undesirable body language, or anything that can kind of show us that somebody isn't exactly what they are portraying themselves to be. So you definitely took on a very open but practical way of doing things, where you really poured into yourself, right? So I poured into myself while they were trying to lie about me and make life hard on me and being authentic or being inauthentic. I was authentically, boom, I cannot believe it. I was authentically making sure that I could free myself, right, from this devil energy. So you definitely, as you freed yourself from this devil energy, you also build into a new reality, into mastering the creation of your reality, into mastering your work, into mastering your, I'm hearing, even your body, right? Into mastering the way that you move through this world. and into mastering your emotional state. So this was also a physical, right? So this is an experience that you actually experienced in this physical world around this devil energy that confined, constrained, or made you feel like you were tied to a situation that left you in bondage or mentally fragmented and distorted, with the King of Swords coming in reverse and the Seven of Wands coming in reverse and the Seven of Swords coming up, right? And then with all of that fragmentation, all of that constraint, at the same time, you are building into a new experience for yourself. So this was also a reset in your finances, but at the same time, and it's not really a reset in the finances, or it could have been, right? So this could have been, I quit my job, all right? I got rid of the devil energy that was the entity that I worked for in general. So that's also this energy. But the Seven of Pentacles is also a sign of the fact that you built into a new environment for yourself, right? There's some kind of work that you put in that is going to pay off and actually become a tangible either source of income or a tangible source of security for you. So that is what that means with the Seven of Pentacles in reverse on the devil in reverse. So the Page of Wands comes out to clarify the Two of Pentacles. So you got this balance back in your life, and then you got a new vision with the page coming out there. So you got a new vision, you got a new lease on life. You started to see that you could grow things by yourself, that you are a creative being, that you can do things without the help of others, that you don't need all of the support in the world, that you can keep a balanced internal and external state in lieu of whatever they've got going on around you, and in lieu of whatever barren wasteland they try to make your life look like, and in lieu of whoever they've stripped from you and whatever kind of resources or I'm hearing relationships or experiences that they are trying to keep from you. Well, with the Page of Wands coming out right here, it lets us know, heavy Sagittarius energy, that not only are you very charismatic, right? We already saw that. But also, you have a very fiery energy about you, which means you transmute energy easily, you transition and transform easily, and you let things go easily, right? Because you can handle it, right? You can show up as the King or the Knight of Swords and handle it and do an emotional reset for yourself. And it happens just that fast, right? And you're good. But you free yourself and you make sure you don't have to confine yourself and constrain yourself to any more of those situations, leaving yourself in that Two of Pentacles energy where you actually have that harmonious and balanced internal state due to the way that you saw that it doesn't matter what anyone does in your world. It only matters what you believe your limits are. So it doesn't matter if you're surrounded by a desert, and it doesn't matter if you're only in the mountains, and it doesn't matter if you only have your wand, okay? At the end of the day, that wand on the page is growing something out of it. You really can't see it on this card. But ultimately, and she's got a dragon behind her, so it's very fiery energy. And ultimately, she's growing things outside of, seemingly out of nothing, right? Little shoots of, and all the wands kind of look like that, at least in the Rider-Waite Tarot. But at the end of the day, she's growing the wands out of nothing, right? And in this barren wasteland where she has nothing but her dragon with her, and that's really kind of a guard for her, but you can tell that she's leading the way because the dragon is in behind, so it's there to protect her if she needs it. But ultimately, that's her fiery drive and desire and purpose that's leading the way. So that's you. So you really fused yourself into that through balanced internal and external action. And let's go ahead and see what that, thank you. So the Seven of Swords comes out as the King of Swords to clarify. So this could have been an Aquarius, a Libra, or a Gemini. And also, but it doesn't have to be. It can also be a businessman. So this can be someone who owns business, or this can just be a logical and sometimes manipulative, especially tied to this Seven of Swords energy, right? So it's someone who doesn't mind stealing your peace, someone who doesn't mind disrespecting, someone who doesn't mind using their wit or their overbearing superiority is what I'm hearing to, either take things from you by force. I'm hearing for some of you, and for others, I'm hearing to belittle you, right? Disrespect you and make you feel like you don't deserve as much as them. And, right? So stealing your peace of mind, stealing your time, stealing your self-respect, right? And also, they're going through this Seven of Wands energy, or Seven of Swords energy, showing that somebody manipulative, right? So this is when this strategic energy of the King of Swords becomes the manipulative energy of anybody in your life. So this can be very narcissistic energy, but it's very well thought out, methodical, someone who's got a trick up their sleeve, like I said, and obviously is someone who is kind of strategic when it comes to whatever they want and getting their way, and they don't care who they have to hurt to get it. That's also the energy. So they'll use their logic, they'll use their communication to lie, which is probably why we're seeing the Ace of Swords coming up backwards. They'll use whatever emotional manipulation tactics to make you feel like they're the victim, and obviously there's no way that they were wrong, because they try to make it seem like they have this balanced state, right? But ultimately, all they're trying to do is steal peace of mind, this is also the antagonist energy, that King of Swords and Seven of Swords energy. So you might have been dealing with someone who was trying to rage bait you or antagonize you, put you in gaslight situations, make you feel like you couldn't trust your thought processes, make you feel like you weren't strategic enough, make you feel like you couldn't trust in the way that you saw problems and the way that you communicated. All right, so ultimately that led to the Seven of Wands. Can I get the clarifier for the Seven of Wands, please? Whoa. I don't know if that was it, because that was a weird come out. So we're gonna do one more. I'm like, what? Well, okay. That's funny. So the one that I said I don't know if it's it, that was the Page of Swords, and then that one came flying out, and it was the Knight of Swords. So I'm gonna give you Knight and Page energy on that, right? So this is for the Seven of Wands in reverse energy. So this is when you finally stood up for yourself and fought back. So let's talk about it. Once again, the Knight of Swords comes out to clarify when you fought back. And what did I say in the beginning? That was also when the Knight of Swords came out, because it stood for you fighting back and standing up for yourself, right? And then we finally made it down here to the Seven of Wands in reverse, which clarifies that it was the Knight of Swords energy. But let me tell you something. With the Page of Swords energy, and I'm not going to pull it out here, I'm just going to acknowledge the fact that it was the first one that came out, because the Knight came out right after it. But with that Knight of Swords energy, it shows me that you moved in a more diplomatic, logical, and communicative way that actually defended you, and may have caused some conflict, but it defended you from even more conflict. If you don't know it, I'm telling you it now. Whatever it is that you fought off and then said sayonara bye and left it for this zero full leap of faith, you most certainly got out of so much more of this. So much more of them stealing your calm, so much more of them stealing your peace, so much more of them stealing your time, maybe stealing your money, you know what I mean? Material possessions, they don't care. Whoever this was, they did not care. They were strategic about it. They made others feel like they weren't doing things. They gaslit you. They did all kinds of stuff. So, and we can see it right here, right? Like, I haven't read a reading with this many conflict cards in it for a while. I'm like, oh my gosh. But, right, we're going to read what was tea. So at the end of the day, the Page of Swords came out with that Knight of Swords to remind you to hold a diplomatic, non-judgmental attitude, right? You can forgive for yourself. We prefer if you forgive for yourself, right? If we forgive for ourselves, then we're ultimately opening our heart back up to new alignments, and we're not blocking ourselves from new experiences that we could attach an old narrative or an old outcome to because it didn't serve us before. So we don't want to do that in our relationships, in our business, in our anything, right? We want to make sure that we are reestablishing our trust and faith in ourselves and our decisions, so making discernment or even stepping out of our comfort zone little by little so that we can do things that make the difference in our world, in our life, in this world, for ourselves, for others, that help us take leaps of faith and ultimately stay in that non-judgmental, kind of even a non-diplomatic but very curious energy where you're ready for a leap of faith and you're ready for anything that's coming through for you, because you know the universe is pulling through for you, and you know that you don't have to look back. You don't have to worry about these things, right? Oh, all right, I was about to say what is the Fool, but that came out first. So the Fool is the Ace of Cups. So look at that. That's a leap of faith that leads to a happy, fulfilling beginning in your life. That's what that means. You're going to take a leap of faith and it's going to lead to a happy, fulfilling beginning in your life. If that's a relationship, we'll see it. We'll see that here in a second. So ultimately, that leads to the Queen of Wands, right? And we already said that that was your energy. Okay, so you went into this Queen of Wands energy. I might get another clarifier for that Queen of Wands, because that is the energy that you doing all of that we just read led you into. So now you are standing fully embodied in Queen of Wands and Emperor energy. So that means I'm talking to a powerful soul, but this is your divine feminine and divine masculine energy. So this is the way that the world is seeing, or the way you're feeling in the world right now, that Queen of Wands, and the way that you're actually expressing yourself, or what the world might be seeing, is you not really going out and doing the things that you really want to do, right? So you might not be taking action on your next organized plan. You might not be showing up to be the perfect leader in your life. You might have given a little bit of your sovereignty away, or you might just not be making whole sovereign decisions that are leading to these big leaps and manifestations in your life that would be associated with this Queen of Wands if that Emperor was upright next to her. And so stay in this energy, because this is how it starts. All this really means with that Emperor, and we'll get a clarifier card for that too, but I'm going to let you know right now, with it coming up next to the Queen of Wands, that means you're in the right vibration. It's just the frequency that you need to, I dropped a card. It's just the frequency that you need to either work on, or you might be in that, right? I don't want to take action right now. And now is the time to not move. Usually it's not the Emperor that comes up to let me know that, though. So I'm going to assume that with the Emperor in reverse, there's something that you definitely know how to do, you want to do, and ultimately have organized a plan to do, but you are either on the fence or you're just not making the move. All right, and it could have come from this emotional or mental duress, some of these problems or the situations that cause conflicts, and it made you have to deal with it in a logical way. That was a little bit out of your character. All right, so the Emperor. What is our Emperor? Whoa, I am just like flinging these today. All right, so the Eight of Swords comes out with the Emperor in reverse. All right. So that clarifies. So that means that you definitely are on the fence, or you know what to do. You know what to do, but you're acting blind and like you don't know what to do. That's what that means. And so ultimately it's causing some emotional disturbance in you, right? This is where our mentality, our thoughts start to creep down and start to have reactions in our body that are starting to flood us with emotions that really don't have a place in our life anymore. So this is the energy of release all doubt, fear, worry, connections to old associations with the past, and emotions associated with the past, or thoughts associated with the past that no longer serve you. All people, places, and things, or illogical thinking, or any kind of problematic thinking that led to a lack of communication and decisive maneuvering or strategic thinking in your life. That is the release of that. And so the Eight of Swords comes out with that Emperor in reverse to let me know that not only are you allowing yourself to be blind, right? You're acting like you don't know, or you're acting like you can't trust your intuition. You're acting like you can't trust your thought processes, and you're being too hard on yourself, and you're binding yourself up in that mental clutter, in that mental chatter. You can release this. You can release this. This is, I am not in a completely peaceful state, but I'm gaining momentum toward the mastery over my mind. Okay, and once you have that, you're going to move forward, and then the King of Swords comes out to let us know, right, with that Eight of Swords. Well, that's why those thoughts are so conflicted. It comes out next to the Eight of Pentacles. I love how they're all kind of clarifying each other with different decks. So the Eight of Pentacles comes out to let us know that there have been some mentally conflicted situations, right, that have externalized in your world. They led to problems that you had to find logical and strategic solutions to, but ultimately you use skills and talent that you really didn't give yourself credit for, but ultimately that you learn, right, that are actually going to pay off and become a huge financial gain or financial security and stability that flows into your life due to the skills that you built in the recent past. So again, I'm going to say within the past 2 years or to 2 months, right? So that leads us to the Eight of Pentacles, right? So we have the Eight of Pentacles that covered your thought processes, which are leading into the other Eight of Pentacles, which are covered by the will. All right, so let me tell you what that means. So with the King of Swords coming out with the Eight of Pentacles, we already know that you built into skills that are slowly but surely, right, with the Eight of Pentacles coming out over that King of Swords in reverse, releasing you from mental conflict, releasing you from externalized mental problems, releasing you from communication problems, releasing you from not having strategies or feeling inactive or like you don't know what to do, like you're blind or like you're not ready to make moves with that Emperor in reverse. And ultimately, this is showing us that you're finally building into the kind of skills, finally building into yourself enough, finally building into what you have, finally understanding all that you've already built. That's the energy here, okay? Let me really clarify that. Finally understanding all that you already built, okay? And not only, right, because this is less about admiration, but this is more about when the skills or whatever work you've done have finally started to come back, flourish, or grow and become really rooted, or a harvest that can be harvested soon. And so some kind of material gain or financial stability that's coming into your life. And it's bringing in a reset. Look at that. The Eight of Pentacles covered by the Wheel. So that lets me know that there is a reset that either recently happened or one that's coming in context to this. So take it where it resonates, guys, and lovingly leave the rest. But at the end of the day, I said we were going to do clarifiers, and we surely didn't. But what I'll still do them. I'll throw them in somewhere. We'll throw them in here in a minute. But I really want to get these clarified so that I'm not taking forever, because I did this after a personal that I did for myself last night, and I liked the way that it came out. So I was like, I got to do this for the collective. And so we're doing it. I didn't think it was going to turn out like this. Not turn out like mine, but that's okay, right? Because we're going to leave you in a good way. And so the Wheel of Fortune shows that you're at the end of the cycle. The cycle is closed. You can let it go, right? You can release this Eight of Swords energy, the confined energy, or you feeling like you have people who are trying to keep you blindfolded, shackled, or constrained, especially with the Devil in reverse energy coming out. So you can release all of that. Also, Queen of Wands covered by Justice in reverse, showing us that not only did you find higher truth and balance through your own behavior and moving in a way that served you, and finally focusing on your desires, on your well-being, I'm hearing, and on your purpose and true nature and purpose, right? Which is to be a creative spirit having a human experience, but ultimately, in this situation, it was to restore the divine justice in your life and finally have the truth, right, set you free, where you can be truthful with yourself. That was that Queen of Wands energy. This is not only I walked away and I don't have to put up with it anymore, but this is I set myself free from finally seeing the real divine truth that was always being laid out before me, but I decided to act like either A, people were more important than me, B, I didn't deserve as much respect as others, or C, I was trying to people please, overextend, overexhaust myself, overwhelm myself, and contradict myself, and undermine myself in spite of myself to help others that couldn't have cared less about me. So that's that energy. So it's a big justice that came through after you freed yourself from this situation. Now you need to see that you're not blind and you are not confined and you can move forward at any time. That's what these cards are telling me. And ultimately that 8 where you built in, because that's, look at this, okay, let me show you something. When the King of Swords comes out and it's letting us know that there was a mentally conflicted situation that did externalize itself in your world, and ultimately it might have led to conflicts and some kind of strategy that you had to logically approach to take care of problems or that caused problems in your world. That led into you building into new skills, building into your worth, building into your experience, building into your mastery over your reality creation, building into your manifestation abilities with that Queen of Wands coming out with this, with 2 8 of Pentacles, building into new skills, building into new worth, and building into things that maybe you didn't even realize were the kind of assets that were going to make you financial security and ultimately give you a higher ground in financial stability than you imagined before. But ultimately, that's what that means. It means some kind of conflict in the emotional or the mental sector led to you really pouring into yourself on a physical level to attain some kind of mastery with the 8 and the 8 coming out. And it was in the physical world because it's 8 and 8 Pentacles. And that led you to the reset. That led you to the new cycle. That led you to the new chapter. So for whoever this is for, congratulations. Let me say that. This is where we say congratulations in the reading. Good job. Because you did the work and it paid off. Even if you can't see it yet. Okay, these are some, even if I can't see it yet, cards. But you don't have the Ace of Pentacles come up with the Ace or the Ace of Cups coming up on the Fool, showing that you took a leap of faith with the Ace of Pentacles down there. We haven't even clarified it yet, but ultimately I'm going to let you know with the Ace kitty corner to the Ace of Cups. Well, that means that the Ace of Cups is probably a new relationship or some kind of fundamental blessing or emotional happiness and fulfillment that's coming into your life that will equal a new beginning in your financial world or something that changes your material security and financial status in this world. That's what that means, you guys. So that's a beautiful message. And ultimately, it's coming after you shut down this cycle, so you did so good for yourself. You see this? So look at this. All right, so let's see what our 5 of Cups is. Okay, so like they are not cooperating with that one. They're like, we don't like the 5 of Cups. It's in reverse, so let me say that. Let's see if that gets this one. And there's 5 of Cups in reverse. What's the 5 of Cups in reverse? They're like, nope, 8 and the 5. All right, we'll do it one more time. Give me my 5 of Cups in reverse, you guys. Oh, there it goes. All right, guess what that is? Holy heck. 5 of Swords. So the 5 of Cups in reverse shows us the 5 of Swords in the reverse. Alright, so now we know what you turned and walked away from. So the 5 of Swords covering the 5 of Swords, or the 5 of Swords covering the 5 of Cups in reverse for clarity, shows me that not only did you stop looking and facing towards the spilled cups and all of the things that they were trying to make you focus on, that made you feel like you were in devil energy, that made you feel like you had to be in this 5 of Wands energy, that made you feel like you were in 7 of Swords energy, that made you feel like you were in 2 of Swords energy, that made you feel like you were in 8 of Swords energy. All of it. And eventually, or a while ago, right, when this was actually upright, it made you feel like you were in 5 of Cups energy. Emotionally conflicted, physically conflicted, conflicted in events in your life, and not being able to trust people who are around you or yourself, your thought processes. That's that energy. So it's a very disruptive, calculated, and mischievous and antagonistic energy. And so what this shows me with the 5 and the 5 coming out, this is 5-5 energy. So not only does it show me that you went through a big change, okay? So there was a reset, right? After you went through all this, and that wheel came out on that last 8. So you achieved some kind of mastery on some level, right? Of something, of skills, of spirituality, of something tangible that you can experience. So this can be a master bodybuilder, you could be a master worker, a master of your trade, you could be a master of reality creation, you could be a master of finances, you could be a master of reality. Okay, so you could be an ascendant master, how about that? And so this shows me that not only did you wholeheartedly stop focusing on the emotional conflict, right? And you stop focusing on all of those cups that they wanted you to kick over, that they wanted to kick over for you, they wanted you to keep looking at so that you didn't see the blessings behind you. Well, you consciously made the effort, like I said, to look at that. And that came, right, clarifier, after someone, okay, I'm hearing you or someone. So for some of you, it was you, and for others, it was someone else. But one way or another, there was a situation, right, where it caused mental conflict. Ultimately, you weren't thinking clearly, or you weren't thinking of yourself clearly, and something that they did to you caused hurt in your life or the lives of others. So they physically hurt you, or they mentally hurt you, and ultimately it led to a situation that was all of this, right? It led to the 5 of Wands. It led to them stealing your peace and your calm. It led to you having to fight them off and then really ascend into that Knight of Swords energy, and then take the leap of faith and step into a new blessing that's equaling a new, even if this isn't a relationship, because it's not always going to be a relationship that people want, but this is a new beginning that is emotionally fulfilling one way or another, okay? The Ace of Pentacles out there, for some of you, it is a relationship that is going to be financially stable and financially stabilizing in a way that gives you financially security that you've never known in this life like that. So some of you need to hear that, and that's true for a lot. Okay, so that's a combo that means that. So I know that doesn't resonate with everyone, and that's okay. So ultimately, the world comes out to show us what that 6 of Swords was. So the 6 of Swords, right, when you found those other shores, when you finally said, you know what, enough is enough, I'm gonna protect my mental harmony, and that shifted the world into this phase where not only you completed this cycle, right, and Wheel of Fortune, where the karma really came in for you and it shut all of this down. It freed you from a situation where someone was confining you or putting you in events and situations that were hurting themselves and you. And you chose to walk away from it and ultimately turn your back on it and start focusing on your blessings and leave the entire situation by taking a leap of faith, stepping into your divine justice and this Queen of Wands energy, which is very magnetic, attractive, magnetically alluring, manifesting, and attractive energy. So you're magnetizing things to you in a magical way, all right? And ultimately, this leap of faith is leading to that Ace of Cups, new beginning in your relationships, in your emotional state, okay, for some of you. And ultimately, either way, it's going to be financially abundant, financially prosperous, financially rewarding, okay? And this is the new energy that's coming in this world energy, where you have obviously closed down a cycle. You've gone through the lessons, right, in that world energy. And ultimately, as you went sailing away to new shores to find more harmonious thoughts and communications, and to get rid of the problems, ultimately, right? You sailed away from the problems, you found new horizons, you really tried to do better for yourself in life. That's what this is, and that's what brought in this world energy. this new beginning and the integration of the lessons that you've completed. So take those lessons, don't forget them, right? I'm just here to say, don't forget them, but integrate them into your being so that you may use them at any point in time later on in your life as wisdom. And that is a beautiful message as well. So Ace of Pentacles comes out. Whoa. I'm not going to take that one because I'm like, well, they're just flipping out like they want you now. Okay, so I'm telling you, they didn't like that vibe. So the Ace of Pentacles, what is my Ace of Pentacles? What is the Ace of Pentacles? Alright, so the Ace of Pentacles is the Knight of Pentacles, and I think it's funny we got the Knight right next to it. Alright, so the Knight of Pentacles, so this clarifies very well. The Knight of Pentacles comes out upright over the Ace of Pentacles to let you know that either this new beginning is coming in due to a new but youthful but practical, so this can be a kind of slow moving energy. I don't like to call it that. So it's practical, it's steady, it's stable, and it's I'm hearing abundant. Okay, so it is that, but it is something that's growing into abundance. So this can be a new business partner as well, but this can also be a new coworker or a new place that you work that now has a coworker where you actually get along with them, and there's a newfound stability in your life that is leading to this new beginning that is a reset to your finances and ultimately new security, new foundation. And this can be a new job for many of you, but it is new money coming in some type of way that is stable, secure, and ultimately is connected to either a plan that you made, right? So this is you taking stable, decisive actions in a practical way, methodically, maybe organizationally. You did not do this quickly. So this is not a quick moving action, but it is a steady, stable action that actually was consistent and led to that new Ace of Pentacles, that new beginning. Okay, so that's where that came from. The Knight of Pentacles in reverse, right? Because now we got a Knight of Pentacles on our Ace, and one next to us who's in reverse. So what? Clarify the Knight of Pentacles, please. Clarify the Knight of Pentacles, please. Whoa. 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 Okay. So Knight of Pentacles in reverse. I'm going to take all four of these as clarifiers because I asked for it and they threw it out there. And so I feel like there's something big here. So I'm going to try it and oh my goodness. So this is something. All right. So the Knight of Pentacles, I said, was you needing to take a practical plan that consolidated all of your skills and all of the practical things that you learned in these Eight of Pentacles energies when you entered this new will and this new era, focusing on the new emotional security and closing down the old cycle with the world and integrating new lessons, coming in and starting the new emotional fulfillment on some level with the leap of faith in the Fool, and then ending up in the Ace of Pentacles, the new beginning of prosperity, of abundance, of work, of a new take on your reality, or just a new lease on life, I'm hearing. For some of you is also can be connected to this new energy or someone who has come in that is a practical but youthful energy. Okay, so that could be true for some of you. So this person would either be younger than you. Yeah, I'm seeing that person would be younger than you if that's a person. Okay, and the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so let's talk about these clarifier cards because you got four of them for that one card. Alright, so the Knight of Pentacles is connected to the Four of Wands first. So the Four of Wands in reverse actually came out for that Knight of Pentacles, energy. So there is some kind of practical action or a practical plan, or maybe you just weren't moving in a methodical or organized way, and ultimately it was leading to imbalanced or non-foundational or destructive actions that you were taking. Okay, and that's why that never happened. And then the Knight of Wands comes out to show us that maybe you were a little too arrogant in the beginning for some of you, but for others of you, this can also be that you just didn't know what way to take, or you were undecided on the very path, or what your true desires were, or what the purpose was, or what you really wanted to just manifest into your life. So you just didn't make a real move, or you made a slow one, right? With the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles coming out both in reverse. And so that puts you in an energy that was imbalanced, right? You didn't trust yourself. You didn't trust others. You didn't trust the way that things were unfolding in your life. You were becoming less optimistic about your lives and others. You were feeling less like your loving, caring, nurturing self, because you have been put in a situation that left you feeling like you couldn't make decisions that were for your purpose, that left you feeling unstructured and like people were actually trying to tear you down with the decisions and the actions that they were trying to make you take or tell you to take. And this led to a stagnation in your practical moves. So that's what that Knight of Pentacles in reverse was. Okay. And ultimately, this was put to rest by a rebirth that has completed, okay, with the Wheel of Fortune, the World, and Death in reverse coming out to cover all of that we just read. And that leaves us with Temperance, which is the dear guidance that we left you with to consolidate all that you've learned and all that you have. And guess what that brings in? So this lets me know that there is some new mutually beneficial relationships coming into your life. So the Ace or the Temperance says, after all of this, right? Because that was a lot. And so Temperance comes in to let us know to consolidate everything we need. Don't choose. You don't have to choose anything. Some of you might feel like I can't have this, or if I have that, or I can't do this if I do that. Well, this is energy. If you feel like this reading is for you and it resonates, then you need to know, confirmations that this reading is for you. This reading is for you if you feel like you just came out of a situation or you've been in a situation that you need to come out of, where people have been stealing your peace, your material possessions, your time, your presence, your patience, and any other kind of energy from your energy field, okay? You'll also know this message is for you if you recently had to stand up for yourself in a logical way and use your strategic way of thinking in a new way where you never stood up for yourself like this before, leading to you walking away from conflicts that arose in your life and leaving you knowing exactly what to do next, okay? So this could be a message for you if that was you. This could be a message for you if you recently had to fend people off of you or stick up for yourself, and really make sure that you reset, right, your energy with that Ten of Cups, and ultimately were there for yourself, right? And then you stood in that Knight of Swords energy. Like, if we have an issue, then I should probably still be in this energy so we can deal with it accordingly. So if that sounds like something you went through, then this might be for you. This might be for you if you recently took a leap of faith and you feel like it's leading you to a new beginning that is emotionally fulfilling. This might be for you if you stepped into your creative manifesting abilities and you feel like it was divine justice finally served. This might be you if you feel like you are not making full actions that you truly want to take in this life because you feel blinded by your emotional momentum or how fast the thoughts are racing through your mind, making you feel confined, but ultimately there's nothing holding you back but you. This might be for you if you recently decided that you were going to stop focusing on the negative sides of things and the negative aspects of things while you deliberately and consciously turned and went the opposite direction and made sure that you intentionally focused on positive things after someone put you in an emotionally or mentally conflicted situation where their thoughts and actions ultimately led to all or any of the conflict that we have described here in your life. This message may be for you if you feel like you're building into something that you're finally seeing the fruits of your labor and things are finally starting to work out for it, and it's leading you to a new lease on life, or feeling like you've had a reset in life, or things are finally looking up in life. This may be for you if you recently had to cross seas, cross oceans, cross terrain, or cross any unfamiliar territory to make sure that you never have to go through any inharmonious, I'm hearing, mental states and occupations again. That's beautiful. And this led to integrations of lessons and new blessings and new completion coming into your world. And you may know this is for you if you have a new beginning coming in due to practical actions that you've taken, an organized practical plan that you made, or some new practical person that has come into your life, ensuring a blessing or a seed of financial security and wealth is flowing in effortlessly. And this may be for you if you had to consolidate all your skills, all your talents, or any of your businesses. This could also be a merger, or you just condensing things to make it fit better, but also make it all work better. So this is not us canceling or removing anything. That is leading us to a deeper sense of community and also creative, emotional, and creative, intuitive ability. So this also, you might be an artist, okay? So if you're an artist, then that's also confirmation that this reading is for you, all right? It can be any of those things, and it could be none of those things, and this could still be your reading, all right? So ultimately, I told you I'd give you confirmations to make it a little easier, so we did that. All right. So the Three of Cups comes out with Temperance, and Temperance is there to show you, consolidate everything that you are doing. Don't pick and choose. This is not the time to mince hairs or cut things off or cut things loose or cut things apart or tear things apart or be separate, okay? This is where we bring everything together and combine all that we know, all that we have, all that we are to become a equally but synergistically more powerful component. Ooh. All right, that leads to a more fulfilling community, that leads to a more creative, emotional state, that leads to a more creative, intuitive state, that leads to more fundamental, caring relationships. And ultimately, I don't know about you who want to be in the relationship, right? But I feel like somebody in here that's watching this does, and I did promise that those meant that it was relationships. So let me tell you something. This Ace of Cups coming out with that fool comes out as the leap of faith, and that leads to this Ace of Cups. And now we've got Three of Cups out here, so guess what? That means a little bit more. That means it can be a little bit more for those who are looking for the relationship tip. And so at the end of the day, that Ace of Cups comes out to let us know that that's going to be your emotional reset and your new beginning in your emotional state. So that could quite possibly be the relationship coming in. The Knight of Pentacles shows that you made a practical plan. You've been very organized and methodical and stable about the way that you move through to this blessing, one way or the other. And ultimately, with the Ace and the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups coming out in combo, that means that whatever this is, this leap of faith and the practical actions that you take or the organized plan are going to lead you to a relationship, a new beginning in a relationship that equals a new beginning in your financial state that is more abundant and financially secure or stable than you have ever known or been, okay? And because all of that was coming out, right? Well, then we have to play our Ace of Cups and our Ace of Three, or our Three of Cups off each other. And let me tell you something, when the Ace of Cups and Three of Cups comes out like this, with it tied to an Ace of Pentacles, not only does it mean that it's probably a tangible community, group, or something that you relate to that's coming into your world. It's coming into your world. But also, it means with that Ace of Cups coming in, it's going to be more emotionally beneficial and initiating and validating and a better beginning on an emotionally fulfilling level than it has been for you in a very long time. And so this shows that you are actually going to be in that environment, right, with the Ace of Cups and the leap of faith and the Temperance, where you consolidate it and you're all the things at once, and you're being all of the magnetism of the Queen of Wands, and you're in this energy where you have all the things planned out and you're being stable, and the Ace of Pentacles is showing its face. And guess what? We get to this community where the Three of Cups is, and if you want a relationship, well, this is the environment. I'm gonna let you know right now. The only thing I don't have out here to confirm that this is where this happens for whoever this is the Two of Cups. Okay? But I'm going to let you know, for it to end in Temperance and the Three of Cups, that's the environment that we need for that Two of Cups to show up. Okay? So we need the Three of Cups for the Two of Cups to become a part of our life. And you got it. There it is. All right. So now we can kind of put those over there, right? We're going to do one Chakra Insight card from the Chakra Insight Oracle. I'm only going to do one because I'll channel it, but then I like to do the book. I don't know. I was like having fun with this yesterday, and I was like, oh, we should do a book one. And so we're going to do a book one, and then I'll give you a little channel message off of it, and then I'll give you some Sovereign Stability Index cards, and then we will get you out of here because I don't know how long it's been. Okay, I'm going to give you two because this one flipped out and I didn't mean it, but it's compassion, and so we always give compassion. All right, so compassion's your first one. Give me the second one for the collective that they truly need. Intelligence. Intelligent compassion. Beautiful. All right. So let's see what this has to say. So right now, let me give you the channel message and then I'll give you the book message. So intelligence, this says, use your intelligence and education, your knowledge and perception to be flexible in all that you do. In all that you do. 4 and 5 energy to close down these cycles, to make a difference in your life, to make the best impact in your world, and to use, and to be open to new insights, to be open to new thoughts, ideas, perceptions, ways of being, and all of your psychic abilities. That goes with intelligence too. So this is really calling you to look at the facts, act logically, right? We don't want to be that King of Swords in reverse, and so we want to make sure that we stay in that Knight of Swords energy where we can be logical, we can be strategic, we can be intelligent, and we educate ourselves and act knowledgeably while acting from a perceptive and flexible place. So right, all right, so we're gonna get you the book meanings on both of these too, but caring, empathy, acceptance, gentleness, and compassion. So this shows us that not only, okay, for most of you, this is just your inner state right now. Like you're in a very intelligent and compassionate place. You're doing things differently. You're showing up differently. You're closing all of whatever that was down. You're opening all of whatever that is up, right? And ultimately, let's remember the first two cards that came out were the 10 of Cups and the Knight of Cups. So now we can see how it all played out to end up in that 3 of Cups, which can easily become a 2 of Cups with the Ace of Cups and the Pentacle, Ace of Pentacles right there. But we already know that it's covered in your happily ever after. It is. It's covered in your happily ever after. Happily ever after. I'm like happily ever after. Happily ever after. Okay, I was like, why am I heavily? So apparently someone's got heavy emotional reset coming. All right. So if you've been bogged down by emotions or feeling depressed, this might be a message of relief for you as well. All right. So compassion, caring, empathy, acceptance, and gentleness. So have compassion, be gentle in all you do, accept everyone for what they are. You do not have to like everybody or everything, but at least be caring and empathetic enough with a gentleness and compassion to understand that people are still healing. People are still healing, you guys. And they're just not good at it, right? Most of the people who ever hurt me in my life, they're never going to heal that much. They're never going to be that emotionally intelligent. They're never going to be that emotionally aware. And that's a truth I have to swallow and live with, right? Because I allow myself to be in those situations where I allow people to hurt me, and I allow people who didn't have my best interests at heart to be authorities over me. So that is how we take our self-authorship back, when we can be honest with ourselves about these things, right? So we just have to be honest with ourselves about these things. So intelligence. All right. So the greatest place of learning is in the school of your life. While modern Western culture tends to judge intelligence based on mental capacity alone, true intelligence is a much more holistic and expansive experience. True intelligence is an interweaving of linear, nonlinear, tangible, and energetic structure and creative flow within the mind, body, spirit, and heart. In one sense, intelligence may be activated by expanding our knowledge through teachers, books, and lessons in our external world. In a deeper sense, our true intelligence is an infinite essence that has been within us since well before our arrival here at the Earth School, right? Which I call superconscious. I love that. I love that they're even talking about that. So we'll get into that later. But in a deeper sense, in another video. So in a deeper sense, our true intelligence is an infinite essence that has been within us since well before our arrival at the Earth School and will remain with us long after. Accessing this aspect of ourselves is about taking time to uncover, remember, and trust that which we already have within. So true. This true sense of intelligence may be sparked or revealed by external teaching, but it takes us beyond the pages of the most profound written text, illuminating our ability to read the patterns of the world and draw deep wisdom from the wellspring of life. This card encourages you to awaken a fuller experience of your own innate intelligence. It's time to integrate new concepts into your current frameworks, to analyze and question the new, but also to be willing to question your old concepts too. Be open-minded. What did I say? Be open-minded, open to new ideas, and flexible. Realize that your intelligence is not about suffering, okay? And it's not about surface understanding of facts or theory, but the embodiment of deep inner knowing in the way you live your life. It can be confronting to acknowledge and accept new ideas, but if we cling to our perception of how we have always seen things, we become stagnant in both thought and experience. By integrating new concepts into our framework of thought or letting go of our framework to see a higher way, we say yes to the essence of true intelligence rising up within us. So leave a space in your mind for the possible, right? Open space for new ideas. And know that there are many ways to learn and grow. By staying open to new knowledge, you will see clearly the path that is calling. Your intelligence is both unique and part of the one universal mind. Within you is the master, the student, and the teaching. So there we go. And the greatest place of learning is in the school of your life. Open your mind to see and experience the divinely intelligent being you are today. Okay, so beautiful. Let's do compassion. I'll paraphrase compassion. I know it's long, guys. But I don't want you guys to miss the message. So, as we learn to see and treat each other in our highest light, we help open the passage for each to find his or her way up into the sun. So before you judge someone for their shortcomings or mistakes, take a moment to genuinely feel what it's like to stand in their shoes. Experience the world as they might and allow yourself to drop into a space of compassion. See them rising up and shining in full glory and see yourself in the same way. Yes, it is also time to have compassion with yourself. That's an amazing message in this card. Treat yourself with the same love and acceptance that you would share with someone that you deeply care about. Oh my gosh, yes. Please stop acting like someone else deserves things more than you too. No one is higher or better than anyone. So if they got it, you have full rights and principles to have that too. So talk to yourself in that loving way and encourage yourself and look for the positive in your life. And remember that you are human and you're learning and growing and evolving each day. So love your humanness and support each rising step on this journey with compassion. Honor yourself and others with the flower of compassion. So, the Latin word for compassion literally means co-suffering. So, alright, so let's get you a few stability index cards for the actions and just some integration, right? We'll do 3 because this is a long one. I'm sorry, guys. So, right, I guess I'm taking advantage of the fact that I, gutted my camera because it was acting like it just did not know what to do, and I had to go get all these new cords, and which is ridiculous because it's digital and brand new, and so it was fun. It gave me character. I'm like a headache. Okay, so we're going to take the top 3. Alright? I am just like, oh my gosh, this is coming out to the... That's funny. Fair enough. Okay. So, Emotional maturity is stabilizing. Detached from triggers. Neutrality creates leverage. Conflict fades. Okay? Alright, so emotional maturity is stabilizing means that you are showing up, you are handling things in different ways, and ultimately you're detaching from triggers that might set you back in your progress that you made. Congratulations on any progress that you made on a healing level. There's so much healing here in these cards that I just have to congratulate you. And so these cards are coming out to let you know that the emotional side of these things, it's making a difference, right? So emotional maturity is stabilizing. So don't worry, you're no longer in that negative Queen of, or introverted Queen of Cups energy, right? We're not in reverse Queen of Cups energy. Neutrality creates leverage. So try to remember to not to harp on the way that things have to be so much. Allow things to kind of unfold, because a lot of the times when we don't allow things to unfold in our life the way that they're happening or the way that the divine is bringing them to us, well, we're actually stepping on the toes of the universe, right? Because the universe is constantly trying to supply our needs, constantly trying to supply our desires, constantly trying to make things better for you and me. And so when we won't release the house, won't step into the attitude of gratitude or the frequency of gratitude, won't keep the frequency of knowing in our heart, won't step into alignment and then stay there while we expand our energetic container so we can hold on to our manifestations, well, it creates a dissonance, right? It creates conflict in our world and in our desires and in our manifestations. And so when we stay neutral, sometimes it's not going to show up like oh, I wanted a car and the car never showed up. Well, sometimes it shows up as an envelope, right? Or a sweepstakes or whatever. So don't discount whatever you want, because it's the doubts, right? It's how much do you put into it? Because 64% is what you're going to get. So you're going to have to get raw and real with yourself. Are you 64% doubtful, or are you 35% doubtful? Are you 64% hopeful and sure or knowing and grateful? Or are you 35% hopeful, knowing, and grateful? Because the 64% is what wins every time. So remember that. So you don't have to do it all the time, but you will be needing to do that most of the time. All right? So neutrality creates that leverage, and then the conflict in your life, in your order, in your desires, in your purpose, in your, I'm hearing, actions, fades. Okay, so you're attracting reliability. You're attracting reliability, which means you are actually in your energy right now. Like there's some kind of boundary you set for yourself. This is I set new, firm, healthy, clear boundaries, and now I'm attracting only reliable people who I can count on. And you're being called to embody reliability now. So you already have like I'm done with anybody that I can't rely on energy. And now the universe is like, just embody that and they'll know ya. And here they come. So you're attracting them. So mirror effect activates. So you have activated the mirror effect in you. That's what that means. The mirror effect has been activated in you. So this is where you need to get raw and real and clear with what you desire in this universe and in your life and in your experience. Persons, places, things, kinds of circumstances, situations, relationships, platonic, intuitive, creative, romantic, it doesn't matter. Get clear, because you've gone through something here. You've gone through something here, and you've reset it. You freed yourself from all of their negative, conflicted thoughts and all of their negative, conflicted emotions and all of their lessons that they were trying to put you through. That's what this energy is, where you just shut it down on them. You soar to new sales, which are leading to this new beginning, which is a new beginning in love, which is a new lease on life, which is a new practical order in your step, which is a rebirth in your life, which is more rest, which is more community, which is more skills and consolidation and just things going your way and synchronicities flowing into your life, because it's a mirror effect of your activities. Look at that. It's a mirror effect of your activities. And so you're being called not only to embody reliability. I'm here, right? The card says embody reliability, but I'm hearing the guides say embody your desires. Okay? If you want peace and hope in your life, you embody peace and hope now. If you want joy and fulfillment in your life, embody joy and fulfillment. If you want happiness and love in your life, embody happiness and love. If you want wisdom and spirituality in your life, embody wisdom and spirituality. Right? Just be it to see it. Do as much as you can. Know that you're attracting things to mirror it in. Okay? Know that you're the mirror. You're the mirror. And so you've activated the mirror effect with all of this energy, right? With that wheel of fortune, the new cycle, with the world closing out cycles, with you entering the new emotional phase, with you releasing emotional conflict, with you starting the new beginning, with you saying no more stealing my peace, no more stealing my time, with you finally standing up for yourself, with you standing in your truth, honor, and your logical, practical steps to solve the problems in your life and all of the conflict and strife and mental duress that they tried to call you or cause you, and the Ten of Cups energy that it naturally aligns you to by doing what was right for you. That's what they say, you guys. And it's a stable alliance that's forming, right? So you've got alliances coming in. So the other side of this is with these narratives, right? Because I've gone through stuff like this too. So with these narratives, I gotta remind you to release the trauma from your body, right? Massage, like salt baths, nature, I don't care. Meditation, whatever you gotta do. But you gotta release it from your body. Okay? Because we don't want to be tensing up every time we get a new opportunity for a relationship or a new business opportunity or a new friendship or somebody talks to us or there's some situation that makes us ease up and tense up because we're associating things with situations that no longer serve us or disruptive emotions associated with the past that no longer serve us. So we're not doing that, right? We're releasing that because we want our new beginning, because we've already closed down the cycle, because it's already a new, because it's already consolidated and I'm already integrating the lessons and it's already a new chapter in my life because it's already a new birth and it's already a new community. Look at that. So that's what's on the way. When new community comes out and it tells you detach from your triggers because we don't want you feeling, you know what I mean? The people are coming at you who are going to be genuinely curious, and you might be in that place where you feel like people are being patronizing. So this says release that, neutralize that. And ultimately, the Three of Cups shows us that is that community that's coming in. So that's what it looks like. That's what that looks like. You're attracting in a new community, Three of Cups, that's going to lead to your emotional fulfillment and some kind of stability through a leap of faith that you took and a practical orders in your life that is attracting in reliability in this community. People that you can finally rely on. So you're being asked to embody the same kind of energy that you want to attract in your life now. Because there has been a mirror effect activated for you through all of this that you've gone through and through the way that you handled it. I'm going to let you know right now. That's what these cards are saying. So there's a stable alliance that's forming that you are unprivy to right now because you aren't reading the energy. You're dealing with the aftermath, or you're dealing with, you know, fundamentally where we are now. So just know you're a leader. You're a leader. Okay, so whoever I'm reading for, you're very important and you're a leader, okay? So you don't get this card out of my deck, right? Because I made this deck, and so you don't get it unless you're a leader. Number 11, that's a master number, and you are meant to lead differently. That's what that means. So your authority is quiet but firm. So you're attracting reliability, and that's a very firm authority, right? And so detach from triggers because we are detaching from anything that steals our peace. So triggers just mean, oh, you're stealing my peace? Well, you can go. Right? Well, if you're healthy, right? Other people are like, you're triggering me. I'm like, you're not being triggered because you're having an emotion reaction. You're emotionally immature. That's not a trigger, and that's different. But this is triggers. So detach from your triggers, right? Or anything that you associate with people's behavior or anything that they were trying to do in that Five of Wands, Five of Wands, Seven of Wands. I was like, why do I look like and they're both, anyway. 5 of Wands, 7 of Wands, 7 of Swords, 8 of Swords, and 5 of Swords, and 5 of Cups. All of that. So all of that contains triggers, and none of that is a part of your experience anymore, or it will not be, because you're on your way out of it. Keep focusing on the positive. Do not focus on spilled cups. Do not look back at anything that you've left. Only look forward. The future is now. You're already in the present, and the present looks way better than anything that this conflict caused in your life. You're a leader. Your authority is quiet but firm. Practice calm decision making under pressure. That's what you're being called to do now, right? And embody reliability as you detach from your triggers and know that your emotional maturity is stabilizing. And so give your time peace and patience with all of this emotional turmoil and mental duress, because that's what this is. So congratulations, because you deserve to hear it. And I wish you so much love, and I'm just sending you so much light and Reiki to just heal whatever this was, because this is for someone who's powerful, right? And this shows a lot of people in your life who just came into your life to disrupt your life and really, really siphon off, drain off your energy and hurt you to keep you from stepping into your power. So the integration for this card is stillness projects strength. Okay? So don't be afraid to be still. Don't be afraid to be quiet. Don't be afraid to not say anything, because that is the strongest demeanor in the room, especially when nobody can tell you when to talk. And if the first thing you do when you talk is start asking questions. So respect deepens without force. Remember that. And step into your power. Step into your power. Nothing else to say. I love you all, each and every one of you, unconditionally. So I hope you guys like the reading. I don't know, it's kind of long, so we might not do it like that again, but I'll see what your comments say. Either way, I love you one and each and all unconditionally. I send you all of my light, my love, and my blessings, and I will see you in my next reading.